Welcome to our Spotlight interview series, bringing to you the best film industry professionals from around the world. I'm your host, Chetna. Today we have with us Australian actor and musician Mark Robert Walters, who has extensive screen experience in several feature films, including Night Shift, A Night of Horror, Love, Tea and Epiphany, and the Gujarati horror comedy Faati Ne. Mr. Walters has appeared in over 40 short films, including Coming Home, a 2024 short film that he has also co-produced. This short film won an honorable mention in the Best International Short Film category at the Rohip International Film Festival and the May Award for Best COVID-19 Film at the Sweden Film Awards in 2025. Here's another interesting fact for our viewers. Mr. Walters has also co-founded the garage rock band Doc's Breakfast, where he works as a vocalist, composer, songwriter, and bass player. Lot of caps. Hello, Mr. Walters. Welcome to 72 Dragons Media. We're delighted to have you with us today.
Hi, thanks for having me on the show. Thank you.
So let's begin today's interview with a little insight into your background. So I read that you have a BSc degree and a diploma in management. Can you tell us how you arrived at acting and music? Was a career like this something that you had envisioned in your early days?
I think so. I think it's always been within me. But I think like a lot of children of my generation growing up, when you talk to your parents about that, they go, yes, that's great, but it's not a real job. You've got to have a real job. So I think that was the driver, I guess, to, keep the creative spirit alive, but also find something to pay the bills. So hence why I pursued, film and media at school and continued mostly with music for a while, and then to back into acting and film after leaving high school. So yeah.
That's great to hear. So you've acted in several short films, feature films, series and videos. I know it might be difficult to ask you to do this, but if you had to pick one, what would you say your favorite project is?
I would definitely say Faati Ne is one of my favorites. It was a lot of fun to film. It was a lot of great people working on it. I got to meet, Faisal Hashmi, Hemant Trivedi, and, the team at Full Pixel, Hemal Shah and Bhupinder Singh. And yeah, I guess, working on that full time, I took leave from work because I worked full time. So I took, annual leave and worked on that full time pretty much for a few weeks. So I enjoyed it. And then post that, I had a really good reaction, I guess, from audiences and online and from people. And when they did the screenings here, we had a magnificent turnout at the cinemas. And it was great. It was just wonderful to do something that had been so popular overseas, not here, but and appreciated, I guess. Yeah.
Speaking of Faati Ne, you play the role of a commissioner in the film. So across your filmography, you've often played characters who are authority figures, like police officers, school principal, and a boss, who are often played with a comedic undertone. So can you tell us more about how you approach these kinds of roles?
Yeah, look, I think mostly the same as a normal role. The thing is, I think about these characters is they can't see their faults. So this is normal and this is them. And there is some overlap. But, it's because they react to things outrageously. You dropped your cigarette. Oh, you dropped a cigarette. And you're going, well, I just dropped it. I'll pick it up and put it in the bin. But their reaction is so over the top. People see that as comedy, I guess. And they draw parallels of people that they know. I guess, part of it is setting it up as an identifiable character that people can relate to. People can have seen these people before. They work with those bosses. They work with those colleagues, and they draw the parallels between those people. So I think when creating these characters or trying to portray those characters, the first thing is from the character's point of view, they have a slightly shifted perspective. You've got to play it kind of straight to you, to the audience. It might seem comedic, but to you, it's kind of straight. So, and in some ways, those characters often say, the things that other people are thinking but don't say. So, they say things that are outrageous. So I think that's kind of the difference in my head with the characters. Everything else, pretty much preparation is exactly the same. I guess.
Yeah, and since you said that, I'd like to know more about your acting studies. So I read that you've participated in acting programs from various institutes, including NIDA, the Rehearsal Room, and the Impulse Company, where you studied acting systems like the Stanislavski technique and the Meisner technique. So how do you feel that your knowledge of these systems has impacted your acting? Do you find there to be a noticeable influence?
Yeah, I think, they're the basics. It's like, studying English literature, you have to learn to read and write first. So, NIDA gives you things like, Stanislavski, the 7 pillars, who am I, where am I, what time is it, what am I doing, what do I want, how do I get what I want, and what's the obstacle in my way. So that's the basic premise, the thing that you ask yourself before you go on stage, before the camera rolls in your head, you're asking yourself those things. Those are the questions. So you know where you are, and you kind of place yourself mentally in that position of that character or that situation. With things like the Rehearsal Room, for example, with Richard Sorrell. Richard was the director on a very famous TV series here in Australia and in England called Neighbours, ran for many years, and he developed his own extension of Stanislavski, and that's called the Rehearsal Room. And it's kind of rooted in Stanislavski, but he talks about things like every conversation has an objective, has a point to it. You don't say to someone, how's the weather? Because you're not actually asking about the weather. There's some other underlying thing. You want to make contact with that person. You want to strike up a friendship with that person. So that's kind of his principles, and that's, they're all kind of embedded in the basics, I guess, of Stanislavski. Sometimes if I'm looking at a role and I'm struggling with things, I might pull something out and think, well, like animist thing, and go, well, if this character was an animal, what would he be? What would they be? And that gives you a different perspective. Maybe it's a physicality of that person, of that character. So I think all those things, they all play a part, and to differing degrees. So they're all tools in the toolbox, I guess. You open the toolbox and you kind of go through the basics, your script analysis and character analysis, and look at the relationships between people and the situations. Understand the story, because you've got to understand the story to understand the relationships between people. So yeah.
That sounds very interesting. Next, I'd like to ask you about the format of your work. So like I mentioned before, you've acted in many different forms of visual media, like feature films, short films, television shows.
So many. I didn't realize until you said it there were so many, but I guess it has been a few over the years. So.
Yeah. You've also done commercials and music videos as well, so that's a lot.
I have, yeah, that's right. Yes.
So with regards to these different formats, have you noticed any tangible differences in the way that you prepare for these formats, or maybe the production process, or by filming them, any of these?
Yeah. Look, I think I'll start at the bottom level, I guess. Things like music videos are a lot more visual. It's a vibe, it's an impact, because obviously it's mostly the non-speaking roles in music videos, and heavily influenced by the director. And you often, a lot of costume, heavily directed by the director, and have a vision of what they want to do, what they want to portray. So that's kind of at that end. And then somewhere in the middle is I guess short film and TV series, where you have potentially like a much shorter definition. So you might have to make up some of the backstory for something to make sense to you. And you may not share that with anyone, but you might be working on a film. Why is this guy so angry? Why is he got such a bad relationship with his second in charge? Well, you have to create a story sometimes in your head, and you may not share that with anyone. So that's a slightly different approach, I guess, for things like short films and for TV series. TV series sometimes, or web series, they might have long-term character booklets and things like that that'll explain what the character is and the relationships to other people, because it gets complex at times as well. For feature films, definitely there's a lot more work involved in that, because you need to understand the whole story, what's happening, the context of what you're doing, and also, look at the overall narrative, how your character interacts with other people, what the relationships are, what's motivating those people. So it's a lot more involved, I think, to do feature film work.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting. And I have to say, now that I've heard more about your background and your projects and your creative process, I'm really interested in what's in store next. So could you tell us more about your upcoming projects?
Yeah, sure. The director on Faati Ne was Faisal Hashmi, and probably a couple of months ago I had a random phone call in the afternoon saying, "Hi Mark, how are you? What are you doing?" I said, "I'm at home, I've finished work. Why? Come out, we've got a role for you. Jump in a cab, come out." So that's one project that's upcoming. And when I went out, I bumped into Hemant Trevi, who's Baba, of course, from Faati Ne. So that project's called, I think the working title is Wherever Gujaratis Live, I think is the title. Don't quote me on that. And the role in that was just a bit part as a judge. So passing sentence on 2 reprobates that had fallen on hard times. I've also completed another short film with someone called Ewan Pereira, which is Sri Lankan, someone else from the subcontinent, and playing a police officer in that one as well. So there's a bit of a theme happening there, and then last week I completed a short film with an Iranian friend of mine, Hassan Yatfar, I think is his surname, and that's called Not My Fault. So they had a lot of well-known Iranian actors in it here. I completed a feature film a few months ago that was shot over like 12 months, I guess. It was an indie feature film, so there wasn't a lot of budget. They shot it over 12 months of weekends. That's called Reluctant Hero, directed by Alan Claridge. And we need to do ADR, which is like where the sound recording hasn't worked properly, or we're outdoors, we've got to re-record it, so that's called ADR. So we need to do that. And as you rightly mentioned before, I do play the bass and do get up with the band, and we've got some gigs coming up in January. And I'm talking to someone about a film noir project. But I'm always open to any upcoming projects that might be happening. So keep me in mind.
Wow, you've definitely got a lot on your plate. All the best. Can't wait.
Thank you. Yeah, it's hard because I juggle between working full time, and when I find something that interests me, I seize it, I guess, with both hands. Yeah. That's
great to hear. Before we conclude, is there anything you'd like to share with our audiences, especially aspiring actors?
Aspiring actors, I guess, keep at it, keep believing in yourself. When I was younger, I had a lot of trouble with self-confidence, so I kind of let things lapse a bit, and now I'm older, I wish I hadn't. So sort of stuck to music, and that gave me my self-confidence back and gave me the confidence to drive forward. So keep at it, do the preparation, come armed with ideas when you go to auditions. That's pretty much it.
That's great to hear. Thank you so much. So that brings us to the end of today's session. Mr. Walters, thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights with us and such inspiring words as well. I'm sure that we're all eagerly awaiting your next projects. So thank you again for being with us here today.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me on the panel here to interview. And I've really enjoyed it. So thanks a lot. And if anyone's got any film projects coming up that they're looking for a dodgy Australian actor, I could be your man. So just call me.
Thank you. I hope our audiences enjoyed this discussion as well. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel to stay updated with the latest in international cinema. See you next time.